So I'm going to share my screen now. Yeah. Okay, so moving on, like I said earlier, will be considering SPSS fundamentals and data management with this evening. So, what are the learning objectives? The first one is that by the end of this class, we hope to be able to explain the purpose, the strengths, and the common uses of SPSS. Then two, we should be able to navigate across different windows of SPSS. Then three, we should be able to import, manage, and then save data files on SPSS. Then we should be able to create and label variables accurately. Then, as well as cleaning, handling missingness, then recoding and filtering. So this last one, writing syntax, I may or may not cover it. It depends on flow with the how we flow with the class. So yeah, what are uh, the understanding about SPSS that we need to keep in at the back of our mind? The first one is it's a very common tool, data analytic tool used in academic, business, and research. Um, it was developed by IBM for statistical analysis and data management. So, and also it simplifies data manipulation, testing, and visualization. So, those are so what are the strengths? So the first one is that SPSS has a very easy interface, very simple and easy to comprehend, easy to work with interface. So that's a plus for it compared to programming softwares. Then it can handle very large data sets. Even if your data set is up to 500,000 records, it's going to handle it. And it also offers robust statistical and visualization tools. Yes, you can perform statistical analysis, you can plot graph, you can construct bar charts, different charts from it. So the use cases, like I mentioned earlier, it's used in research, it's used in academic, it's also used in well, healthcare settings too. So then these are the anthem we'll be considering this evening. So I'm going to stop sharing the slide now, and then I'll launch my SPSS, then we go from there. But please, if you have any question, kindly, well, regarding the one we just covered now, kindly unmute and ask the question. So, and then permit me to off my camera for stability of the internet. So, okay, so please confirm if you can see my screen again. All right, great. Thank you. So, I need to confirm that you have your XPSS installed and working. Please, can you confirm that maybe I should even see you share your screen so that I'm sure we're on the same page. So I'm going to stop sharing my own now. Uh, I need you to share your screen. I want to see your SPSS installed, except if you are joining with another device. But please, if you have joined with your laptop and you can share your screen, I will appreciate if you can do that. Let me be sure we're all on the same page. So I'm going to start with okay. So Olamilekan, I will skip you. I know you've installed it. Datayo, I'll skip. Okay. Adenika, I'm going to skip. Florence, I'll skip. Uh, okay. Uh, Mrs. Folake, have you installed your? You haven't installed it. Do okay. Do you have any difficulty in installing it? Oh, I see. All right. All right then. All right then. So Precious, please, can you have you installed SPSS? And can you share your screen? Let's see if it's perfectly okay. Are you there, Precious? Precious Bonifate. Okay, all right. Okay, great. So this is fine. Yeah, so all right, that's good. So let me share my screen now then so we can move on. Um, Great. So the first thing here is I'm going to show us how to navigate around the SPSS interface. So the interface that you are seeing here, which is usually the default when you launch a data, is the one we call data view. If you look at my cursor towards the left down screen, Emma, mo fẹ́ béèrè pé báwo lo ṣe record ìjọ yẹn ni you get there but tó bá ti mi ì get there mo kàn lo screen recorder kan ni tó bá login o lè bá wa record a máa sọ lọ́la mo ti ń take class. Yeah, yeah. Apologies please I had to. So the interface you are seeing here is the data view. So this is where you see the data, even if you have thousands of records, this is where you are going to see the data. So then the second one is the variable view. So I just tapped on this button now. Let me talk. So you can see. So the second one is the variable view. So here is where we create new variables, where we can manipulate variables, where we can add label, the values, and also assigning levels of measurement um, to different variables. So this where you can do that. So the other interface I'm going to show you is uh, the windows that we have for this tool, this SPSS. So if I go to File here, are you getting it? And I scroll to New, as if I want to open. So here I can decide to open a new data interface. I can also decide to open syntax. So and then output. So making four different interface that we have for SPSS. The first one is the data view, where you see your data set itself. The second one is the variable view, where you see information about your variables and where you can create more variables. Uh, then, of course, on the data view, that's where you enter your data too. I forgot to say that. Then the other output, the other window is the syntax. The syntax. So here is where if you want to, if you say you don't want to use, you don't want to start uh, clicking, pointing mouse around to do your analysis. If you want to write syntax, you want to write codes, this is where you can do that. Then the other window, the outputs, this is where each time you perform a task. Each time you perform a task, this is where you see the results. Uh, so this is where you see the result. And then recently, uh, recently SPSS added this script. They added scripts, and here is where you can also run, you can link up with Python. You can use your Python script on SPSS to run analysis on SPSS, and also from VBA, the basic software. That's uh, another data, well, majorly data for database. So that's where you can do that. So like I said, this evening we have four uh, major or basic interface for SPSS: the data view, the variable view, the outputs window, and the syntax editor. So now, how do we import uh, data, or how do you even open your data? So because SPSS takes time to load sometimes, I'm not going to close that one. So, but what I want to do here is I want to, here, this is the window I'll get each time you launch your SPSS. You get a fresh window like this. So, but I want to import data into it now. So how do I do that? Uh, so if I go to file here, uh, and oh, sorry, I mentioned opening data first before importing data. So let's say I want to open uh, my a data that I already have in SPSS file, which is called .sav. So anytime you see a file that has an extension .sav, is an SPSS file. So it's only SPSS that can open it. So now I want to open data. So I'll come here, remember from file, then you go to open, then you scroll to data. So I'll click data now. So here I have these two data sets. This one is DHS Nigeria data, and this one is for Sierra Leone. DHS is Demographic and Health Survey. So it's a very big database for demographic information and health data. That is it's a very good one where when you need to conduct analysis with some health information, health related variables, and we'll be doing some hands-on with the data. So the one I want to open here is Nigeria, the DHS data for Nigeria. So if I click on it and then open, so uh, okay, sorry. So the reason I'm getting this is because I already have that data opened. So let me close it first. Uh, because I have the data opened on another window, so I have closed it. So I'll go back now, open, then go to data, then I'm going to select this. So now this is my data I have just opened. So with this, you can start analysis with this um, data set. So good. Uh, I want to import data. How do we import data from? Yes, you can import data from different statistical files from with for instance, you can import data from Stata, you can import data from Excel, you can import from different um, so you see them now. I'm going to show them. So the first one I want to try here is I have a data already, but it is on Excel file. How do I import it? So I'll come to file here and then go to import data. So this is what I was trying to mention the other time. There are different formats you can formats of data you can import into SPSS. You can see, so there is Excel here, there is CSV here, still Excel, but different formats. You can also import your data that is on text, like all this notepad kind of thing. kind of files. You can import data from SAS. You can import from Stata. You can import from DBase, Lotus, SYLK, Cognos, and yes, Cognos Business Intelligence. You can import from those. You can import those files into SPSS, and then you analyze your data easily. So now we want to try importing from Excel. So I'm just going to click Excel now. Yeah, so like look at it. I have an Excel file. So if let me just go back now so that we can navigate. Uh, so for instance now I want to find my way around to my data. So I'm on documents now. So pivot, and I want to look at this is where I save the data for training. Look at it. So I have the DHS serial long data. It's in Excel format currently. You can see .xlsx. So that's the extension for Excel file. So if I click on it now, so I'll get this. Look at it. So the first tab we have here is asking which worksheet. It's possible that you have several worksheets in an Excel file. So which worksheet do you want to import? So if this is not the worksheet you want to import, you can just click on it and you scroll. But the file that I'm importing has only worksheets. That's why you are seeing only one sheet here. So if you have more than one sheet on that Excel file you want to import, it's going to show you, and you can scroll to the one you want to import. Here is the range. Let's say you don't want to import all the columns or all the rows. This is where you can specify the range which you want to import. And then the this button we have here is to tell SPSS that the first row on my Excel file is the variable name. You can see when I uncheck it, you can see that all the names of the variable change to SPSS default. By default, SPSS will assign V1, V2, V3 to your variable. So if I click it now, look at it. So it's seeing all the top information, all the entries on the first row of that Excel as the variable name. So uh, that's what that first button does. So the other thing is percentage of values that determines data type. Yes, you can also, but this one just leave it on the default setting. Ignore hidden rows and column. So if you have some hidden column or hidden rows on your Excel, you can decide to ignore them. And if you don't want to ignore them, you want them to come here, you toggle it on here. And if you want to remove leading spaces from string values, string values are like your open-ended question. Like if I type my name now, Olanrewaju Eniade space Eniade. So if I should click remove leading spaces, it's going to remove the space between Olanrewaju and Eniade before importing the data. If you also want to remove trailing spaces from string values, so this also does that. But honestly, the first three buttons are the important one you should just leave checked by as it is by default. Then you click OK. So once you hit the OK button, it's going to import the data. Look at it. So here is the data that we just imported. So if I go to variable view now, I can start playing around the data. So that's how to import from Excel. So you can also try on your own, try importing different file formats into SPSS. So because of our time, we're 30 minutes into the meeting already. So the next thing I'm going to do here is creating variable. So we're going to create a variable on Excel. So allow me to close this. I'm going to close this data because we want to work with a fresh page. So yes, I'm back to the fresh one. Now, I shared one Word document before this meeting. Uh, okay, so I don't know if you've opened it. So uh, this questionnaire was actually used for someone's master's in public health dissertation, where she's on the court. Um, so what we're going to do now is just to try and create few variables from this. We can't create all because of our time. So we're going to, so let me just try to divide my screen now. Uh, so I'm going to divide my screen. Okay, so, okay, great. Okay, now, so we want to create variable. Remember, I told you when you want to uh, create variable, the window you are going to work with or the interface is variable view. So let's go to variable view. So we are there now. So the first one here is the name you want to assign to the variable. The rule here is that you cannot use space and you cannot use uh, some symbols. So, but alphabets and numbers, you can use them. You can also use underscore. You cannot use hyphen. No. So then here is the type. This is where you choose the type of the data you are creating a variable for. Is it numeric? Is it a comma separated? Is it dot? The most common one are the numeric, dates, and string. These are the, well, for years of practice, these are the ones that we use most. Now, then the width. So the reason it's always good to specify the width of your variable is to manage your database. Is to manage your database. If you were to be working on cloud and then you pay for each byte that you use, and if your variable, let's say you are creating variable for age, and 2 digits is fine or 3 digits maximum is fine for the variable. So why do you have to use more than that? So if you use 4, 5, you are wasting memory space and then it's not a good practice. Then the other one is to indicate whether your variable you are creating has decimal. Does it have decimal? If it does, how many? Is it just one decimal point, two decimal point? So label. So because the name will not allow you to enter a lot of information, and also in practice, it's good to keep your variable name short. It's always good to manage when you're analyzing your data. So because this will not allow that, we have label. Here, the label, you can use the label to describe everything you want to describe about that variable. Now here is the value. This is where you choose the value if you are assigning value to the variable. So we still use that. So here is to indicate yeah, you can indicate some values for missing data and so on and so forth. And then so I'll advise you to ignore these ones. They are not used most time. You can also here indicate whether it's ordinal or nominal. But in practice, this from here to here, they are the most common one that we use. So now we want to start the variable creating uh, variables on SPSS. So now look at it. The first variable here is actually the what? The date of screening. Date of screening. So if I'm going to work with this now, I would prefer to have the study ID first. So, and then if I'm creating a template for data entry or for anything, I prefer to put them in section. So I can say S1 and then Here, S1, I want to make it, it's just heading, it's just section. I'm going to make it string. And then width, I'm not going to be entering data on it, so there's no point wasting my, uh, maybe I should even put it as 0, no decimal, then label. Oh, sorry, it's the minimum you can do is 1. So label, I can now do section 1, or you say section A. So that's that. That's all I need to do for. Now I want to enter the study ID. So because of time, let me just copy study ID here and then paste it here in the, okay, sorry, let me not rush. So the variable name for study ID, I think I can just use study underscore ID. That's a variable name. Remember, I told you it allows underscore. But okay, let's try if it will allow hyphen. It will not. ID. Look at it. Variable name contains an illegal character. So it's not going to allow that. So we use underscore. Now, my study ID, is it in numbers or alphanumeric? That one is dependent on the data you are working on. So some use alphanumeric, some use numbers. So let's assume that I'm using just numbers. And width, let's say the study I want to work with is not recruiting more than thousands. Let's say it's recruiting around 900. So it's okay for me to leave this as 3 digits. No, sorry, 4 digits. Yeah. So then decimal, no, it's usually you shouldn't put decimal point in study ID. Then here, sorry, there's an error here. There should be he here. So here, I'll now write the study ID. Study study ID. Do I need value? No, I don't need that for study ID. Now, the next one I want to do here is, okay, now date of screening. Date of screening. So I just come here, date. I can do date underscore screening. Remember, I said keeping it short is a good practice. Now, I want to choose the type, the variable type. Remember, this is a date, so you have to put date. Now, the question is, which date format do you want to use? In this part of the world, we use date, month, year. So, which is this? Date, month, and then year in the 4 digit. That's the format we use in this part of the world. In the US, they use month, date, year. So some different countries with different formats. So, but what we use, this is what we use here. Then I click OK. Now, date. Let's leave it as 10. But now that okay, let's calculate how many digits it will be. So since we are using this date, we are using this format. So let's count it. The first D, 1, 2, the decimal point 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see. So that's 10 that you need for you to be able to enter the information when you want to do the data entry. Decimal point, is it needed? No. So here, there is a label. I will now put date of screening. Yeah, so that's that. So I want to, okay, age. Let's create variable for age. Uh, so I'll just type age. So age should be in numbers. Usually age as at last birthday. You can see how it is specified in this question here. So it's in whole number. So we we are good with numeric. Okay. So now, how many digits are we going to? The first thing is that we are using age as our last birthday, so you don't need decimal point. So we'll take this to 0. So we'll take this to 0, the decimals to 0. Now for age, if my study is only, maybe let's say my study is among women of reproductive age, there is no point using 3 digits. I'll just use 2 digits. But if my study is, let's say, includes seniors like older men or women, so I can say maybe we'll get people who are older than 100. So then I put 3. But if your study is enrolling only children, there is no point using more than 2 digits. So uh, 3 digits is fine. Then here, I'm now going to put the description. Age as at last birthday. Look at it. So the last one I'm going to create here, I'm just trying to cover, okay, maybe I'll do 2 more. So let's do gender. Gender. So the variable name is gender. Then what's the variable type? Please, can someone tell us what the variable type we should, the appropriate variable type to use for this gender? Please, I'd like someone to mute and then tell us, please, quickly, because of our time. String, okay. All right, let's get another opinion. Thank you. Please, let's get another opinion. String, okay. Okay, let me get one more before moving on. Another opinion, please. What is the appropriate variable type to use for gender? Or I should call name. Okay. Well, anyways, because of our time, you can either use string or numeric for gender. So from where you are coming from that gender is male or female. So the way it is in practice is that people assign value to it. So you can either say you want to assign a numeric value to it or assign string value. Now let's first work with numeric, then we'll come back. Okay, so for width, I don't need more than 1, so there is no point. This will not allow me, I have to take the decimal to 0 first, because if I'm specifying 1, I need to add the 2 that is in the decimal with it. So I'm going to do 1 here, I don't need more than that. So gender, then I need value. Reason is that you don't want people to type anything they like, otherwise you see male. Some people will type capital M-A-L-E. Some will type capital M, small a-l-e. Some will type capital M, capital A, and you see different, and SPSS is case sensitive. If you type capital M, A-L-E, is different from capital M-A-L-E, the way SPSS sees it. So in order to avoid or to prevent people from creating such a error, so I'll come to value here and assign value. So I want to say 1. So I'm assigning 1 to male, and I'll click add. Now I want to assign 2 to female. That's why I used numeric. Then I'll click add. Once I do that, I will uh, click OK. Then it has created the variable for me. So let's test this one now, gender. Let's test it. What happens if I enter 1? You see, it's showing the male, the value that I've assigned to that one. What happens if I enter 2 here and press enter? You see, so that's how that works. Now you can also decide to, let me delete this one now so that we can also try the string too. Remember I said you can either use string or numeric, but in practice I use numeric because it's easier to enter for data. People who are entering data, it's easier to locate one than locating hem sometimes. It depends. So I want to change this numeric to string now. And what that means is that when I'm creating value here, I cannot use 1 as value because I have made it a string. I can only use alphabet. So I want to use M as a value for male, and I'll click add. Then I'm going to use F as a value for female. Then I click add. Then uh, then I'll click OK. So let's test that one too. You know that we entered 1 and 2 here before, and we have removed the value label that we created as 1 and 2. Now it's now M and F. So what happens if I type M here? Oh, sorry. Look at it. What happens if I type F? So that's what you get. But for me, I prefer string. It's easier, data entry smooth. So the last one I'm going to create here is uh, the open-ended question. This one will allow the respondent to write freely. So, okay, let me use patient diagnosis. Sometimes diagnosis is long, and you can, especially at admission, they have a lot of diagnoses that they are still suspecting they want to go down. Uh, so I'll come here, you can write diagnosis, I'll call it diagnosis. Then, so what will be the appropriate? Remember, we want to make it open-ended. So if it is open-ended, it can only be string. The data type can only be string since it is open-ended. So I'll come here, I'll choose string. Now, the width, this is where you really need to use a lot of memory space here. The reason is that diagnosis is usually long. So for me, I want to do 200. You may say 100 digits, like the width, depending on. So I want to leave it as 200 so that it will allow them writing all diagnoses that are captured. So, but if it's a standardized diagnosis, you may say, okay, like 50 letters is fine, or 50 digits for the width. So it depends. You don't need decimal here. This is open-ended, remember? And here, what are we going to write? What do we have here? Patient diagnosis. It says separate each by comma. Look at it, meaning that they can enter a lot of diagnoses. So look at it, patient diagnosis. For ease of data management, some people like putting the numbers, the serial number of the question. So you can also put it there. It's not a sin. You can enter anything in this label. It will allow anything. Just that you cannot upload picture there, sha. So yeah, let's go. Do you need value? No, you don't need value for this kind of variable. So that's where I'm going to stop on this creating variable. So what we just covered now is creating variable and label. So we have created it, we use created variable name, then we label the variable accurately from the questionnaire. So my advice is that when you have some time, or try to make out some time, block maybe like 30 minutes or 1 hour, practice this questionnaire. I have shared it with us. Try to create them by yourself. If you encounter the issues while doing it, you can reach out, to guide you on how to go about it. So yeah, we're going to stop that. So we have just 10 minutes to go. Uh, so we still need to cover we still need to cover how to use demographic and health data, but that we can still do next. We have so this week we have we're to meet on Sunday again, right? So we should be able to cover this on Sunday. And if we cannot, meaning we have to um, uh, just try and maybe reassign one more class to cover up on this topic that we need to cover. So the next thing is to now try to clean data, derive variables, and then do some data manipulation. So yes, let's stop here and then so that we can have time for questions and answers. So again, we have we've covered navigation around SPSS, and then we've also covered how to import data. Yes, we didn't talk about how to save it. Yes, apologies. It's as simple as you want to save any other file on any computer application. So is to now let us save this file, this new variable, new uh, data templates that we just created. So you come to file here and then you move straight to save. And then you click save. You can also use your Control X. So we call this adherence data. Yeah, so we've saved it. So if you create the whole questionnaire, you can just send it to whosoever is entering the data. And if you are the one entering the data, it's just to navigate straight to data view and then start punching in the data here. Here is the header. I don't need to put any information. The study ID, let's say 1 or 100, and then date of screening. I'll put the date 07 02. Okay, it's dot. So remember it's dot 02 2024. So then age, let's say 56, gender male, diagnosis, let's say malaria. So that's just a very simple example on how to enter your data. Maybe we'll also cover that sometime. So I'm going to stop here so I can entertain any question. Please ask if you have any question, any or anything you want to clarify. Kindly unmute and then ask your question now. Thank you. Any question, please? Okay, yeah. Okay, so thank you. You don't need to do this if you already have your data entered elsewhere. So that's why we also covered how to import data. For instance, if you already have your data from on Excel, you can import it here and start your analysis. You don't need to do all of this. This is only relevant when your data is still lying on papers, it's still sitting on papers, and you need to enter the data into a package you can use to analyze the data. So that's when you need to do that. But remember now, there are a lot of data collection app now that you can use to collect your data that you won't even have to use data paper. You can use Redcap, you can use ODK, you can use Kobo Collect, and there are a lot of them. You can use SurveyMonkey, you can even use Google Sheets, Google Form rather. You can use Microsoft Form too. So there are a lot of app you can use to collect your data, and you won't have to enter on paper first and then enter having to then that they will now require you to enter it here before analysis. So I don't know if I've answered your question. All right, all right, thank you. So any other question, please? Okay, so with the silence, I'm going to assume that we're all good. So meaning we'll be meeting again on Sunday evening by 7 p.m. for this class. So for those participating in Power BI and Excel, we'll be meeting on Friday. So thank you everyone for joining. Please, this is the assignment for this class. Try to create this and then also try to uh, try to play around. I think I even wrote something here. Let me present this. Yeah. So please, if you can screenshot this, and also I'm going to share this slide. I will make sure I share this one this night so that we won't forget. So this practice is meant for this uh, teaching, this module. But then we remember we haven't covered whole. So you can try uh, the first and the second one, imports data. So you also have to create, create please, create. I think I have it in the hands-on. Yeah, this is it. So let's take this uh, as our practice. Now, I would like to see whatsoever you have done before we commence the next class. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Um, See you some other time. Bye.